The one thing you have to remember about this parlor game of who killed JFK and the like is the fact that nobody knows. Nobody knows. I mean, nobody knows this. I hate to tell you, I can point to things that you might want to know that are kind of interesting. I might point to some problems that really, really stink. I mean, where you might say to yourself, wait a minute, this is very odd. Loads of little examples of this. Like when they found the rifle in the sniper's perch in D.C., you know, they found the rifle. Well, guess what it was? It said Mauser and not Manica Carcano. And the people who were there at the time, the ones who were the cops, all of them had been in the war. World War II, they knew all about this. They knew all about this World War II and also Korea, obviously. But the point is, these were all savvy folks. And the idea that somehow President Trump is going to, I guess, unleash, unload, unbox stories and files. I mean, it's ridiculous. There's nothing that is on any file, anything that says this person did it. But the fellow who was the most interesting is this guy, Badgeman, Lucien Sarti. You can go through and just read it. It's fascinating. Lucien Sarti, I mean, this has been a key figure in the French-Corsican network, led by Nazi collaborator Auguste Joseph Ricord. And this is a guy who, believe it or not, to make it, they were available. They were the assassins who were available at the time, at a moment's notice, to do the dirty work, to do wet work, as they say in the intel services. And these were folks who did this stuff, but what you have to kind of grasp, if you will, out of all of the stuff that's available, and what's really critical about this is that these folks were readily available, and these were professionals. Sarti, this fellow, died in Mexico City in 1972 when he was 34 years old. And what's interesting to note is that this is a guy who, interestingly enough, was part of this Marseilles Corsican heroin network that people like Santo Trafficante, but specifically Carlos Marcello, had used via the Marseille connection, the French connection. He would make the most sense. This is a guy who was always used to using frangible bullets, exploding bullets, who was using uniforms and disguises. Badgeman was that fellow that people had reported seeing at the site, at the scene. Badgeman. And Badgeman was this fellow, this guy, this person who was there. And he is one of the most important aspects of this. I heard somebody on a talk radio show today say that Lee Harvey Oswald acted on his own. Actually said that. Lee Harvey Oswald acted on his own. The most preposterous thing I've ever heard in my life. But there are some people who still believe this, because there's a reason maybe why people have a hard time with this. There's a reason why. And the reason why people have a hard time with it is for a variety of reasons. And some of them are because of the fact, and this is important, some of them are because of the fact that this is such it's like people feel fooled. You did this to our president and you basically shot him down? You shot him down like a dog? You shot him down like a dog in front of everybody? You didn't even care. In front of everyone. And then later on, you lied. It's when the government said, I don't know what you're talking about. We saw the head move backwards, and we saw, there was more information and more stuff. But at this point, nobody's going to find out. And I submit to you, one of the reasons why is because people really don't want to know. Do people really want to know what happened to Princess Di? Do people really want to know? I do. Others really don't. Believe it or not, they don't. It's something that kind of bothers them. People don't want to admit that they don't like their world destroyed. They like believing fantasy. They really like sometimes when things are easy, and things are easy to understand. And they've had these crazy ideas of conspiracy theories. Theories, and the word conspiracy has become tantamount or akin to and part of this crazy thing, this world, if you will, that where people are believed to be crazy from doing this. Look, Lee Harvey Oswald, most probably, I say most probably. I don't know how much more evidence you can have, but did not act alone. That means there was a conspiracy. That means two or more people acted in confederation. That's all it means. That's all it means. From the Latin conspirare, to breathe together. Not only that, there was a bullet hole in the front, in the window, in the windshield, that showed a bullet coming the other way. That car, that windshield was immediately corrected. The car itself, the crime scene, was washed down. The car was reused. I mean, they threw everything at you. And it was a time, remember in 1963, it was just 18 years after World War II was over. So recognize this fact. We felt invincible. And it would be nothing to get those folks, to get those people, to get those individuals who worked with us during the war, who were pretty rough and tough, in the days of Wild Bill Donovan and others, to come do some work for the mob when the mob and the CIA had worked together forever. But not just the CIA, the government. From the days of the mob who helped us trying to find the locations of various mafiosi in Italy, in Sicily, I should say. That's what this is about. So let me tell you something, my friend. You listen very, very carefully to what I'm saying. Look at this thumbnail. Look at this. This most probably, from what I have seen, makes the most sense. This is most probably, one of the shooters. Look at him. A guy who came in probably 10 days before the shooting, maybe before, who was in a safe house. Kind of went down Dealey Plaza, kind of looked around, kind of checked things out. And then right after this, went right back to the safe house, waited 10 days, and then left again through Mexico. From Texas through Mexico, and back to France, back to Corsica, back to Marseilles, back to Europe, where he secretes. And if he's found, who is he? I don't know. He's not even sure. He doesn't know who these people are. They know exactly what they're doing. But irrespective, you're never going to find an absolute, positive answer for who was responsible for what happened. Never. You're never going to hear the definitive word. Okay? You know what else troubles me? The fact that 87% of those individuals who watch my videos do not subscribe. 87%. My friends, I ask you to do me a great, great, great favor. To subscribe to this, subscribe to Lionel Legal, and put your thoughts and comments before or below and afterwards. As you comment, as you see fit.